Trav, I have to. Trav, I caught you by surprise, man. What If Podcast, we back. It's your boy CJ. Let me start that over. It's the What If Podcast where possibility begins. It's your boy CJ.
Yes, sir. It's your boy Trav.
And it's your boy Jarvis.
We're a little off. just a little off, man. Y'all fellas brought some discussions to the table?
Oh, man. I don't know. Thought you was coming with this.
Yeah. I am. I got one. I got one locked and loaded. I'm ready to go. I'm just trying to see if it was something else on the mentals. Well, forget the discussion. I mean, y'all fellas, y'all some educators. How was y'all week of educating?
Another good week, man. Can't complain. Not really too major. Well, your boy is officially certified now.
Yes,
Certified.
Hey man, hey, get the people the number they can call for a loan, man. It's 912. What it is?
Yeah.
66.
Oh, now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So your boy is officially a certified special education teacher, man.
Promotions in there. Let me touch you.
Yeah.
Rub off on me. You got promoted? I ain't gonna touch you.
Yeah, man. But besides that, like I said, it was another good, productive week. Nothing really stands out too much, but nevertheless, I'm here, man. Made it through.
Good week.
Yeah.
Hey, to be alive at the end of it sounds like an excellent week.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what happened. you on the back end of it. That's a good week.
Yeah.
Jarvis, man, you up there at Windsor, man. I ain't seen nothing on the news, man. So I take it that you had a good week. What's going on?
Yeah, man, it was a good week, pretty much. It was testing for the majority of the ninth graders for GMAS. So of course, like the schedule of the school, like time.
They do that during the middle of the year now?
That's the same thing I asked him last week when he said they were gonna be testing this week.
Yeah, it was testing on. Yeah, I think they're gonna be continuing testing next week.
But it is funny though, because we was testing at my school this week too, but it was MAP testing.
MAP,
yeah.
Oh man,
What y'all think about that testing board, Joe?
That's a good question, man. Me personally, I don't really like the testing. You know what I'm saying? Because like you gonna really judge. I think they take these tests 2 times a year.
Oh, I don't know.
No, yeah. I think that's what they do. I think they take it 2 times a year, and basically you just in this one test that they take 2 times a year, you saying, okay, this is what they know and this is what they don't know. Which I don't think that's an accurate way to determine what a child knows, because man, anything could have happened before that child came to school that morning to take that test that affects how he answers questions or just basically how he focusing, period. So I don't really like. I don't agree with the testing.
My whole thing is, are you teaching somebody to think or are you teaching somebody to memorize? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm good at memorizing stuff, and I got rewarded for it. It's like a game. I'm good at memorizing. I'm quote unquote smarter than you. I'm not. I'm just a little better at memorizing.
Yeah.
That don't mean I can think through a situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just being in the real world now, I see a lot of people who just can't think through situations.
Yeah.
They can remember how they did it the last time, but they can't think through it, come to new solutions.
Yeah.
But y'all, I think we kind of cut you off, so y'all got the testing going on.
But yeah, we just had testing going on, and that, like I said, the time frame, like schedule wise, throughout the day was kind of changed, because due to testing. But it was pretty good. I subbed for different teachers this week.
I thought you was permanent.
I was permanent. I mean, I am permanent, but like I do different. Like from day to day, I do like different classes, different subjects.
Kind of like a teacher on loan.
Yeah, teacher on loan.
Teacher on loan. That's where you're a permanent sub, but you go wherever they need you at in school.
I got you.
Yeah, for that day. Like yesterday I was subbing for JROTC. So our cadets in there. So that was my first time in the class like that.
How that work? I didn't know they had substitutes in that.
Teaching them how to march and hold a gun and stuff.
Oh nah. But yesterday for them it was like PTs, like training and stuff. So they had just pretty much come in, they do their roll call, say they I am pledge. I forgot how it go. And then stretches, and then pretty much like first block they either had a choice to play basketball, go play outside, play football. Of course, it was cold, so everybody was in the gym playing basketball and stuff. Just pretty much stretching, getting their cardio pretty much.
It's like a fun class.
Man, we ever had the option to go play basketball in high school.
You won at ROTC.
yeah, that's true.
And then the day before that, I had to sub for pretty much it's a technology entrepreneurship / class. So I mean, it's pretty interesting day to day. Like I say, I meet new people, shake a couple of hands, have different conversations with different people. It's interacting to see where the kids' mindset is at. But like I said, I get a thrill of it, man. Just like I said, because when I was younger, I was kind of like soft spoken, really wasn't talking to much people besides my close friends. But like I said, it's wonderful. Pretty much have that that good feeling like you're reaching out and change people's lives and pretty much just planting like small seeds. Pretty much But yeah, overall, man, it was a good week. Pretty much.
Good man.
Yeah, it is.
Good weeks of good things.
That week at UPS, man.
You talking about UPS week?
Yeah, how that week was.
It's peak season.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the days are stretched out. You know what I mean? It's an interesting concept to me when you get off and go to work on the same day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's always been interesting to me, man. But the week at UPS, I tell you, man, every experience at UPS is a molding week. You just deal with so much in the course of a day. It's so much that happen in the course of a day. But if I can sum up the whole week, man, it's excellent. Not because of anything that happened on the outside. I can't name any one thing that's so different from any other day, man. Just the steady progression on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Spending so much more time on the inside than the outside. You know what I mean? Inside myself. And just becoming consciously aware of so many different things about myself that have been there the whole time, but I've just never been aware of. And it's an amazing thing, man. Some genuine things that the human experience that you take for granted, once you become aware of those things, man, life takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Life literally turns into something else. You know what I'm saying? Once you come to an appreciation of the food you eating and the understanding that in a few hours that food gonna actually become you, you actually look at the food differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to understand what an amazing process it is. Once you understand how dangerous sleep is, you know what I mean? How dangerous it is for your body to go through those phases, to literally go into a state of unconsciousness. Like right now, you wouldn't just pop off into an unconscious state. You know what I mean? Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
It's like right now, you wouldn't just tremendously slow down your heart rate and your breathing, and that's scary.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But we just do it effortlessly so much, man. The process of breathing, man, it's an amazing thing, man. Life is legit a beautiful thing, and if you can ever press from living a 100% outward experience, because the outward, man, I'll be real, once you become in touch with the inside, the outside is kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of superficial, it's fake. You know what I mean? It's just everybody just acting, trying to. Actually, that's what we're gonna get into today, man. Everybody just acting, trying to fit in is the word. I wanted to use a better word, but fit in will suffice.
Right.
Trying to please. All right. So listen, two forces that I've always been aware of, that y'all have always been aware of, but maybe haven't had them put into words for you. All right. So inside you right now, you got two forces. And these forces are supposed to keep you balanced. But unfortunately, we live them in imbalance.
Right. Yeah.
You got one force, the force of self-preservation. All right? How hard do you think it is to drown yourself?
Pretty hard.
Not gonna happen. Hey, listen, it's not gonna happen, bro. Unless you don't tie something to your leg, or something to keep you down. You not drowning yourself. You never heard of somebody. How many news articles have you seen about somebody drowning themselves as a way of suicide?
Yeah, never.
Ever. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to. It's gonna have to happen quick for you to get out of here. It's going to have to happen quick. Because if you give yourself time to think about it, it's not gonna happen. All right. So you got self-preservation on one side, which is a tremendously strong force, which is why you can't drown yourself. And then on the other side, you got self-expansion. All right. You always want to survive. You always want to expand. How could those forces work against each other? How could the desire to survive work against the desire to expand?
Just something bad. I can say, like you say, your desire to survive can also sometimes mean you being that complacent, being comfortable with where you at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say, after you do something so many times, it becomes a routine.
Right.
You know, and for your body and you. So you know, okay, this is what we do to survive. This is what we gonna do. It's comfortable to us.
Right.
But like you say, sometimes in order to expand, you have to get outside of that comfort zone. So then those two things gonna kind of, you know, go back and forth. Because I want to survive, but I don't know how this gonna work because I need to get outside of this comfort zone to expand. But this ain't really what we used to, so you know it's
you in limbo.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. That's what I would say.
Okay. That's right on the money in my opinion.
Yeah, that's definitely.
You heard it?
Bro, that's exactly what I say. Be complacent.
Yeah, okay. Well, come on with another word. You don't use complacent. Come on with something else, man. Give the people a fresh perspective, man. They deserve it.
I'll say instead of complacent, I should say, a word I can think of quick. Somebody talked about this word yesterday. They asked me what this means. Sustainability, I guess. And the definition is pretty much to maintain at a current rate or current level. So I can say that word pretty much.
For which?
For which?
For self-preservation or for self-expansion?
For self-preservation.
For self-preservation.
Like you said, you just staying at that current rate, that current level. Like it's just habits, like your cycle, like what you normally do, like for example, like you just do the same thing over and over again, and you're just not going out beyond your means or beyond your initial thoughts to, you know, self-expand pretty much, to rise to another level instead of maintaining at that current level.
I got you. Is either one good or bad? Like, could you say one is good, one is bad? Like, self-preservation is quote unquote bad. I know we had a conversation on good and bad before, but just for the sake of conversation, say that one's negative, one's positive, or would you say that?
I wouldn't know.
I mean, why?
Because I feel like both of them is something that you probably kind of need. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You need a little bit of both, I think. You just got to know how to, like we said earlier, you just got to know how to balance it out. Right. So no, I wouldn't say one is negative and one is positive. Like, okay, we don't want this self-preservation. We don't want to be. I want to be able to go drown myself if I want to. Nah, I don't want to do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to be able to not be comfortable with where I'm at and not go forward in my life because I'm scared to expand or I'm scared to step out of my comfort zone.
And self-preservation is a component of pain. Yeah. You know what I mean? Pain is actually a good thing. Right. Pain keeps us from doing crazy stuff. Because listen, if the human experience didn't have pain, and you already see people with tattoos, and you already see people with big old holes in their ears, and
what else was?
You already see, what if we didn't have a component of pain? How far would we take it? Without the component of pain, there would be no self-preservation. We'll kill ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll walk out in front of buses. Like, you know what I'm saying? Self-preservation is a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It keep you from doing. Pain is a beautiful thing. It keeps you from doing some crazy things. But at what point does pain keep you from pushing? You know what I mean? You see people who run, and this is not my testimony. I'm going off what I heard. You know what I'm saying? People who run, they get to a certain point, and this is the point I stop. Like when my body say I'm tired or my legs hurting, I stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, is that pain? You know what I'm saying? I listen out there. Yeah, I listen. I say, oh, that's pain. All right, I'm done running. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you see your people who run marathons and stuff like that, they understand that I got two components, and there's a time and place for both of them. And if I go with my component of self-preservation, I then have to forego my component of self-expansion. Right? Mm-hmm. And for me, my body's telling me my legs are hurting, your heart will explode if you keep running. But that's not true. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just your self-preservation drive. Yeah. And if you become consciously aware of it, you can then say, no, it's not going to explode. Yeah. I choose to expand right now rather than to preserve. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jarvis, either one of them necessarily inherently positive or negative or good or bad as far as self-preservation and self-expansion?
I want to say self-preservation is totally bad, but I mean, and I say in some situations it can be bad. Like, for example, when you complacent and you got like opportunities to make yourself greater, you pretty much putting limitations on yourself, to rise to a different level or better yourself. Pretty much that can help. I mean, I don't want to say harm you, but I mean it'll hurt you in some ways. So I want to say it's totally negative, but I mean in some situations it could be negative.
Let me ask you this: can you think of a situation where self-expansion can be negative? Okay, let me shoot this scenario at you. You in Vegas, you on the tables.
You already up a million.
you up. You got some money, but you just want more and more and more, and you keep on going. Could the self-expansion be bad?
I mean, in that instance, yeah. I don't gamble, so I mean.
All right, you drinking. You out and you drinking.
Okay.
And you feeling good. You don't got a little tipsy, but you desire to feel better. And you keep going and going and going. More and more and more. Because expansion means more, right?
Yeah.
It's to acquire, to grow.
More, right?
All right, so we're talking about the alcohol. Do you drink? You don't gamble. Do you drink?
Occasionally, yes, I do.
All right, good. So you can relate.
Mm-hmm.
So now you just keep going and going. Is that good? Could that be perceived as a negative outlook on self-expansion?
Negative. I mean,
you drunk up. You outside doing crazy stuff. You drunk up now. You toe up.
I mean, in that aspect, yeah. I feel like it is kind of negative.
It could be, right?
It could be.
Both could be.
Yeah, they both could be.
So then, one aspect of the human experience has to be balancing between these two forces. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got these two forces going on. I mean, when is the time for one and when is the time for the other? Like, how you know, like, all right, it's not time for this, it's time for that. It's not time for that, it's time for this.
I would say, man, same thing we talking about, awareness.
Okay. Work with that. Awareness as far as...
like you say...
Or can you... I'm sorry, or can you put it in some kind of example form to where, okay, this will be a time that I do this versus this. Like we just did with the running. You know what I mean?
I could use the example we kind of used before about the dog, about the pit bull. You know, it's about being mindful and aware. If you see a pit bull coming at you, you know,
That's not
Hopefully you'll use just your system to survive and try to get out of there instead of trying to expand and say, I'm gonna be the bigger person this time. I'm sitting right here. Yeah, he's just gonna we gonna see who gonna be the last person standing.
That fear thing ends today.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I think that's just a kind of quick example. That's what I think is that's just the way you have to balance these two out and say, okay, now is the time for this one, and now is the time for that one. Or I need to use a little bit more of this one than I do of this one right now. You know what I'm saying? Or let's do 50-50 right now. You know, of course it's easier said than done.
Right.
But I think being mindful and aware is the best way to learn to use these at the correct or appropriate time.
Man, y'all fellas know a lot of things that's tied up in this this self-preservation, your prejudices, your biases, your assumptions. All of that stuff is tied up in your self-preservation, especially like what you think of other people and how you guard yourself against them. You know what I mean? Because to preserve is basically to build a wall.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the things that you build a wall against today will be the same things that imprison you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Dang.
And your walls essentially become your prisons.
Yeah.
If you do not balance it with self-expansion. Right? Because it's not bad to build walls. I'm not saying that building walls is a bad thing. Right. Because there are some things and some people in some situations and some experiences that you should protect yourself against if you have the desire to preserve. There's some people who are toxic for you. Right? There's some situations that are toxic that you should not be in. Right? But once you generalize that situation, once you take a specific situation and make it a general phenomenon, right? And everybody who fits that criteria becomes that situation all over again, and you continue to live that specific situation over and over and over again, now you built yourself a wall. You know what I mean? And now you've imprisoned yourself. Right? Because if I got a problem with one white man, it can't become a problem with every white man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
White man might have my loan. He might have the key to my dream. You never know what. He could be white, he could be black, he could be purple, he could be Barney. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, but there's a chance that he could be white, right? You know what I'm saying? And now I've taken my ability to expand and constricted it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like we said earlier, man, life essentially becomes your ability to vacillate between these two forces. All right? And being knowledgeable of it, man, first and foremost, becoming knowledgeable of it, and then, like Travis said, becoming aware of it, man, it is so amazing to say, to like I said, man, I've been spending a lot more time inside, you know what I'm saying? So to be inside and say, oh, snap, I'm trying to preserve during an expansion time. You know what I'm saying? This is an expansion time. And then even vice versa. But becoming aware of it is essentially all you need as far as changing the way you go about things. Right? And for me, man, that's the power of awareness or consciousness. I was actually studying today or looking over, trying to see if there was a difference between awareness and consciousness. And I never quite finished the article, but it appeared that they were saying that there was.
I would say consciousness, just off the top, I would say it's more conditioned towards like living, like as far as you being conscious and breathing versus aware. Awareness is you aware of what's going on the inside and the out. That's how I would perceive it.
So I've heard it said that life is essentially consciousness.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I heard a dude ask the question, how do you know that you're alive?
You breathe.
You breathing? Hold your breath. You still alive? It It can't be that you're breathing.
I still hold my breath though.
You know what I'm saying? Could it? Is it that you're breathing that you're alive?
Because you can hold your breath and still be alive.
You can hold your breath and still be alive.
But for how long though?
It don't matter. To say that I'm alive because I'm breathing, only thing it takes is you stop breathing for one moment and to live, and then to say, well, it can't be that. It's essentially that you're conscious. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm alive because I'm conscious. But I think that you're right, Travis, that there is a difference between the two. Or that there are different levels of consciousness.
Right. I can
you know what I mean? Like this, to know that I'm alive is just a basic, like every living organism has this consciousness. Right. You know what I mean? Lions, my man.
Waiting for opportunity.
To incorporate my man into the discussion, man. Huh? Because we all men in here. But it's different levels to it, right? And one of these different levels is once you make it to what we talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many people y'all think talking about self-preservation versus self-awareness? I mean, self-preservation versus self-expansion.
You said how many people? No.
How many people you think even consciously aware of it? That, oh, this force going on right now. Oh no, this force going on right now.
I say it's a slim chance, but I don't feel like they fully aware of it. Fully aware of it.
Because like I said, when I think about it, I've noticed this before. I just, first of all, I never consciously thought about it. You know what I mean? And I've never worked with it on purpose. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like not on purpose. Because of course there are times that you think about it, that you know what's going on, but you don't know what's going on. Like you ain't gonna go touch no hot stove. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't know why. You can't put your finger on it. You know what I'm saying? But what's a tool if you don't use it? Or if you don't use it consciously? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the thing about it, man, the crazy thing about life, you can actually live on mistake your whole life and get a lot of stuff done. That's just how amazing the human mechanism is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can live your whole life by mistake and get a lot of stuff done. But to never live it consciously will have you 80 years old on your deathbed like, God dang, it's time to go. And I ain't getting nothing done. Because truly, you didn't get anything done on purpose. Right. Then what was it? You know what I'm saying? Dang. But we talking about expansion and self-preservation. And my thing is, and y'all tell me if y'all agree with this, as far as the desire to expand, everybody wants to expand with the physical, right? Everybody wants to physically expand. But one of the key component to physical reality is that it's limited, right? Okay. So, Trav, you got a cup on the table. We take that cup over to the faucet and we turn the water on. And we keep the water on. What happens?
Overflow.
It overflow. Why?
Because it's only a certain amount of space the cup can hold.
Only a certain amount of space. At a certain point, you got to stop. Yeah. Right? But one of the components to us is not that we want to expand. We want to expand limitlessly. Right? We don't want a cap on it. You know what I mean? Listen to another dude, man. My man was like, so today we got you in a 5x5 cubicle, right? You want to get out. You know what I mean? You fighting it. You want to get out. So bet tomorrow we'll throw you in a 10x10 cubicle. You happy for a day.
Yeah, about a day or two.
You know what I'm saying? For a day or two. We'll take you out of there. We'll throw you in a 100x100 cubicle. You happy for about 2-3 days. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing. Once the human mechanism notices the boundary, then it desires to expand. That's the point of expansion right there. Once I notice that something's keeping me back, now I desire to expand. Right. You know what I'm saying? Once I see your life situation, now I need to expand. My mama always say this about my stepdaddy. Like, he don't want to do nothing new until he see it at somebody else's house. Dang, I probably shouldn't have said that on the podcast. All right, hopefully he don't. Hey, it's good conversation. She ain't mean no harm by it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, all right, can we get new countertops? Man, ain't nothing wrong with these countertops. You know what I'm saying? You go to your house, like, boy, those some nice countertops. Yeah. All right, now I'm going to get the countertops. You know what I'm saying? So she might come to our house and be like, ooh, that's nice. Hey, can you call Jesse over here to look at that? Can you call him over here to look at that? You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about it. Not only do we want to expand, we want to expand limitlessly, right? Because even if I make y'all both king of the universe, right? You sitting on top of the earth, you looking down at your kingdom. Only thing you're going to look and be like, Wakanda.
What else can I get?
But look at the sun. Yeah. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? My job don't even glow like that. Yeah. And it's cold. You know what I'm saying? That's all you going to do. You know what I mean? You always going to want to expand. So then, isn't there a danger to desiring to expand through physical means? Thank you for listening to part 1. Please click part 2 for the second half of this conversation.